Alright, so um, today we're going to be taking a look at the landmark towers once more because I found out that I was way off with number placings and stuff. So the 23rd and 24th landmark towers are not actually the 23rd and 24th. Their numbers are lower. So yeah, I'll tell you the reason why later in the video. So yeah, let's get on with the video. All right, so this here is obviously the first landmark tower. This here is the Huey the Hugh. I've never known how to pronounce the name. So I probably pronounced it wrong this entire time. I think it's the Hugs. I think yeah, Hugs Memorial Tower. Weird name. But yeah, that's his name. But I also like to call it the first landmark tower, even though I heard this is not the actual first landmark tower that was built, but it is one of the oldest. It's from the 80s. It's like 1989, I think. Back then, it had just the average box strobes. Wait, no, they weren't very average. They're more rare because they weren't they weren't FTB 205s. They looked more like a Skytech, like Skytech or something, or HP. Like it has that small, you know, kind of flattish, I guess you can say. It's kind of weird describing them, but that's what the box strobes looked like back then. And they had modern incandescents too, along with a some sort of single strobe as well. In the old pictures with its incandescents, it looked like some sort of cone strobe. So it might have had that. And then there's another picture where it first got its fading LEDs, and the strobe appeared to be a normal FH08, I guess. And the box strobes now, they appear to be FTB 205s. So yeah, used to have box strobes and modern incandescents, but now has box strobes and dialight or flash technology. I'm going to say they're probably dialight fading LEDs. So yeah, it also has working markers. I think they still work. There's a picture of the tower at night, and there's a video of it at day, though it's very short, and you're only able to see one of the top strobes flash, and that's really it. It's some random old video that was made. So yeah, like it's what's not the best really. As of November, as of November 2021 Street View, it doesn't have white and red LEDs yet. It still has its strobes and LEDs, so that's good. The other towers beacons are still a mystery. I'm still thinking they might be old school incandescents. I wish they worked. That would have been nice, so I could get an idea of what it has. I also found a video of the tower on backup night mode as well. So yeah, towers with box strobes and some sort of night mode only beacons can go into backup night mode too, which is weird. Like the first Nashville tower did that for a few days as well. It's pretty weird. This here is the second landmark tower. This here is the Star Tower. H.E. Jackson used to call these towers Star Towers for some reason. I never did because for two reasons. The first reason is because the company that made these towers were called Landmark Tower Company, and because if we all call them Star Towers, then basically this tower doesn't have a name anymore other than its nickname. So yes, the Star Tower is this tower's real name. That's what it's called and stuff. And it's used for a radio, so it's also called by its radio name as well, I think. So yeah, there's that. Oh wait, this is a TV tower, right? Yeah, it's a TV tower. I think it's both actually. Yeah, it's both. You can see FM antennas. So this tower used to have uh, FTP 205 box strobes and modern incandescents, and a cone strobe as well on top, but now has modern high intensity modern LEDs without markers, sadly. So there's that. So yeah, this quick little breeze through of this tower. This is the third landmark tower, and this is where this is when they start losing their names. Like this one here doesn't have a unique name. It's literally just called. It's literally named after the city it's in. It's the Miss Quiet. I'm still don't know how to pronounce that city name, the town name, whatever it is. But yeah, it's named after where it is. So yeah, it's used for the high school. So yeah, this here has box strobes and dialight fading LEDs too. This one here has a more weird beacon setup because there's two sets of box strobes and one FH308 on top, so that makes three sets of strobes altogether. But there's only two sets of LEDs on it for night. So yeah, it's kind of weird. Um, the reason why they do that is because over here is where the second set of but that's where actually that's the first set of box strobes, to be honest, technically. So yeah, there's the first set, and then the second set's over here. Then you got the top. So yeah, um, the first set is really just too close to the single strobe on top. So yeah, it didn't get its own night mode beacons. They just shut off completely at night. So yeah, there's that. So three sets of beacons that day, only two at night. So yeah, but it's okay, I guess. I also, I like how instead of there just being one little marker on each leg, there's actually two markers on each leg. I'm pretty sure on both sets of markers, like there's one set of markers here, and then one set of markers here. So there's that. So I guess this tower used to have um, box strobes and incandescents, but now has LEDs now, box strobe and LEDs. So yeah, that's why I think it was built. It was built to replace a four-legged, smaller red and white tower that stood next to this tower. So yeah, pretty cool. Murder Case said that he's seen it in backup night mode. So yeah, I think all three sets of strobes worked on that. Maybe that's what I would imagine. I wouldn't just imagine the only two strobes that have their own night mode beacons to just go into backup night mode, and then the middle first set of box strobes just still be shut off. So yeah, there's that. And this here is really the last of the famous landmark towers. The rest look like famous towers, but really aren't that known. Nobody really talks about them other than us. Here's a fourth landmark tower. This here used to be a mystery. Its old beacon setup used to be a mystery, but it's the tower itself. It's still a little bit of a mystery because I don't know what LEDs it has. So yeah, this here is this tower used to have just it only used to have just box strobes, and that's it. Like there is just one set of box strobes down here, like two sets of beacons. I don't know if it had box strobes on top, but the second set of beacons there were definitely box strobes. I did see that. It's kind of weird because this tower is small. No, it's at least tall enough for two sets of beacons, but still, I don't know why it got box strobes instead of just single strobes. So yeah, like I hope that it also had box strobes on top as well, because that just makes it even cooler. So yeah, but now it has LEDs, and I don't know what LEDs it has. I assume they're white only, since it used to have white only beacons, but it's a mystery since nobody wants to travel on the part of the highway where this tower stands. So I haven't found a video of the tower at night yet. I'm still looking though, still searching. So this here is the first landmark tower in the entirety of the landmark towers that only shines white, or at least used to only shine white. Here's the fifth landmark tower. This here is this here looks more like the first two. So it's a good little smaller clone-ish tower of those two, I guess you can say. So it is missing the signature curve curved top that the first two have. So yeah, it just points up instead of just curves over and whatever, you know. So yeah, this used to have two sets of FH324s or either TWR dual strobes. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure they might be FH324s. So yeah, and it also had working markers. But now, Motor JK, he went down there a few months ago, down to where the tower is, and he reported that it now has crappy LEDs without markers. So yeah, it's just like its brother next to it. It used to have a dual strobe, but now has an LED. I'm not sure what LED that one has though, you know. So I remember I've seen a video of the city that the tower is at night, and I remember seeing a tower with two sets of beacons that were flashing white. So maybe it was this tower, since I didn't know any other tower that had. Oh, I think yeah, I actually do know there's two towers in this city that have two sets of beacons I know of. Though I would definitely I would definitely know which is which, since you have a smaller tower next to it. So you can easily find it just by looking at the other tower's beacon. So I think it might be I think that one tower might have been this landmark tower, so it might have been in backup night mode. So this here is the first tower to really have red strobes, I guess, but it still doesn't count because it's basically FH324s or just dual strobes. They're not separate with box strobes and stuff. So yeah, it doesn't really count. I'm still searching for a landmark tower that has box strobes and red strobes and a dual strobe. That's a normal tall tower beacon setup. Here's the sixth landmark tower. This tower also used to be a mystery because I didn't know what beacons it had. But I discovered what beacons it has along with its old beacon setup too quite a while ago. So it used to have box strobes and incandescents. So yeah, two sets of box strobes and incandescents, or maybe it had two single strobes on top. I do remember today I looked at it again for some reason, just to see the strobes, because that was it's not didn't really have I didn't really have a good time seeing the strobes and stuff. It's kind of hard to spot them. But I looked at the top of the tower and I seen two strobes that look like single strobes, or they look like FH308s. And then I looked at another angle of the tower, and it looked like there's a box strobe hanging off the side of the tower. So I'm not sure if it had box strobes on top, or just single strobes and incandescents up there. But I do know it had box strobes down here with incandescents. Like, I think those might be box strobes. They kind of look like it. Yeah, I could tell because they're big, and it's weird to say, but I'm able to see the actual lens of the beacon that is surrounded by the actual metal box. That's where the flash tube is. That's how I identify that's how I identify them. That's how I find them. So yeah, that's how I found out the fourth tower's beacon setup, old beacon setup at least. So yeah, there's that. But now it has two sets of crappy LEDs, but I'm pretty sure it has LED. I mean, pretty sure it has working markers. So at least that's good enough. But still, crappy LEDs is not a good. It's not a good beacon replacement. So yeah, there's that. So here is the 7th landmark tower. This one here is also a mystery with its old beacon setup, but not its new beacon setup. So this tower, I don't know what beacons it used to have, but I know what LEDs it has now. This tower has white only LEDs. That's the reason why it's markerless too. So this is the second landmark tower to shine white only. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So both the very mysterious towers with two sets of LEDs are, you know, I now know they both shine white only, or at least one of them does, and the other one used to. So yeah, I thought they both had white and red LEDs, but one of them has white only LEDs, and the other one, I don't know. Probably white only LEDs too. I don't know. So yeah, like when I say the two mysterious towers with two sets of LEDs, I mean the 4th landmark tower and the 7th landmark tower, aka this one. So yeah, that's what I mean. I'm not talking about. I don't include the 6th one for some reason. So yeah. So there's not really much to say about this except for I like the rings, and the beacon. The old beacon setup is still pretty hard to see. So yeah, let's move on. Here is the 8th landmark tower. This here is the first dead landmark tower. It was taken down for some reason. Not sure why. It's kind of weird. It kind of sucks too, because the company that makes these towers is no longer around. So yeah, This tower is the first landmark tower to only shine red. It used to have a modern incandescent with only one set of markers. It would have been cooler if it had two sets, but one set is fine, I guess. But still, two sets. So yeah, it's very weird how this one has a modern incandescent, which is a red only beacon, on a gray tower. Like gray towers are supposed to have day and night mode beacons, not night mode only beacons. Here is the 9th landmark tower. So this one here also has a modern incandescent. It used to be a normal modern incandescent, but it now has a retrofit LED in it. So it's basically an incandescent shell LED. It's an LED hiding inside of an incandescent's corpse, kinda. So yeah, but I did find out that incandescent beacons with retrofit LEDs still have one incandescent bulb inside them, so they can still revert to being incandescent beacons, though it's only temporary. That's only when the LED retrofit burns out or just doesn't work completely. Just not wanting to work. So yeah, this here's another cursed tower because it's gray and it has a night mode only beacon, just like the other tower we just looked at. This here is by far the smallest landmark tower, and it's the first one to stand on a building as well. So that's an achievement, two achievements. So yeah, it would have got three achievements if I discovered this tower before the 8th landmark tower. Alright, this pic's kind of blurry, but this here is the 10th landmark tower. This here is the first landmark tower in the series of landmark towers that is in Puerto Rico. So it's pretty cool. So it's the next tower that is sadly dead. So yeah, it's gone sadly. So rest in peace, I guess. So this tower used to have box strobes and modern incandescents. I guess it had two sets of box strobes and incandescents, or maybe just one with a single strobe and incandescent on top. Maybe. I'm kind of thinking it probably just had uh an FH308 and a modern incandescent on top with the box strobes and incandescents for the second set of beacons. I think that's how it was. I bet, I bet. I think it would be cool if it had two sets. So yeah, um, there's that. So this tower was taken out by a hurricane, so at least it wasn't just taken down purposely. A hurricane just killed it because it's in Puerto Rico, and Puerto Rico is close to the sea. I would imagine Puerto Rico getting a hell of a lot of hurricanes since it's an island. So yeah, there's that. I think that's the reason why the tower is. There's the reason why the tower is dead because hurricane. And thanks to the company that makes these towers being bankrupt, they couldn't replace it with a brand new landmark tower. They replaced it with the average guide tower. I mean lattice tower. I don't know if it has beacons or not. I hope it does, but it probably had. If it has beacons, it's an LED. So yeah, because this tower's death was recent, and it was just a few years ago. I'm pretty sure. Here's the 11th landmark tower. So this here, its location is unknown. Its beacon is unknown. I predict it doesn't have a beacon because look at the building behind it and stuff. Like that building looks pretty close to a tower. So I'm guessing this tower is just a tiny tower, like the size of a small monopole, I would imagine. So I believe it's beaconless, though I back then I wanted to believe it had a beacon because I didn't want to think that there's a landmark tower out there that was beaconless, but there is. There's a few. Me and AJ Jackson are currently hunting for this tower, just looking at it. I mean, looking for it. So yeah, I haven't had any success yet. I've been looking around. I've been looking around Orlando and some other city. Forgot the name, but it's famous to us because it's home to tower farm that has quite a few candelabras down there in it, you know. So yeah, I've been looking around both those areas and no success. I couldn't find a tower. It's too. It's just. I guess it's really small because it's very hard to find. Imagine like imagine trying to find something small in a gigantic area. That's basically this. It's basically trying to find a needle in a haystack. When we find it, I'll make an update video so I can tell you if it has a beacon or not. Now this here is the point where things get, but this is a point where things got very confusing back then. But I guess now it's all tied together and in a straight line. So it's not this is not the confusing area of the landmark towers anymore. So this here's another tower. This here's another landmark tower in Puerto Rico. I consider this to be the 12th landmark tower. So yeah, this here is the part where I just this is where I just start placing them at random spots and stuff where I think they're appropriate at. Like I just think this here is more pro. I think this here is an appropriate 12th landmark tower. So I think this should take the 12th place. So yeah, but it's sadly beaconless, I heard. So yeah, there's no very close street view to it. It's far. It has a little bit of distance from the street that the tower stands on, but there's no street view right next to it, sadly. But I did hear it's beaconless. So yeah, there's that. Here's the 13th landmark tower. This here is one of the coolest. This here is somewhere in New Mexico, I heard. So yeah, for some reason every time I see this tower, I keep on thinking it's in Puerto Rico. It's weird. I'm not too sure why. So yeah. So um it's a small tower, but I did hear it does have some sort of aircraft lighting. Every time I uh, every time I asked if this tower had beacons or not, AJ Jackson would either say it has a modern incandescent or it has markers on top of it. Um, so yeah, like it has either it has a modern incandescent or it just has markers. Um, Having this tower with having a full fledged beacon is pretty cool, but at the same time, we we never had a landmark tower that just solely has markers on top of it. You know, I'm split. You know, I don't know what I really wanted to have. I don't know if I wanted to have an ingrescent or markers on top. It's very hard to decide why I would want it to have. So I looked at a close-up picture at the top of the tower when it was being built, or was it being? You know, I guess is what when it was being built, and I couldn't find anything really. So he might have been talking about a different tower, maybe. I don't know. I'll ask him about this tower again, because it's still very confusing about this tower's beacon setup. So yeah, there's that. And I also heard this tower is now dead as well. So yeah, rest in peace. I also heard this here is actually the very first landmark tower too. So yeah, it's the oldest one. So yeah, it's pretty cool. This here is the 14th landmark tower. What? All right. So yeah, this here's the 14th landmark tower. So I bet this here is beaconless. I see no markers and stuff. Only if the guy took two pictures of this tower. Like, you know, this picture is fine, but I wish whoever took the picture took a distant picture of it, zoomed in at the top, so I could try to see if it has a beacon or not. I hope it has a beacon. That's what I hope. Though there's no street view next to it whatsoever, or even close to it. So yeah, this here is that one tower that has three openings. This is what I was talking about that one time when I was talking about the other landmark tower, the most recent one I found at least in Jackson, Mississippi. I forgot where this tower was, but I do remember finding it, and there's no street view around it whatsoever. So that kind of sucks, you know. So this tower is kind of a mystery when it comes to beacons and stuff. I'm just going to assume it's beaconless. Here is the 15th tower. This here used to have FG 3000 Bs basically, or FG 3000 Bs, or just 3000 Bs, whatever you want to say. So that's what it used to have. So it just used to have two sets of 3000 Bs with two sets of working markers too. Here's a picture of it. As you can see, there they are. So there's that. So yeah, there it is. Sorry for a low quality picture. I literally took this picture off of a computer screen, or actually it's a laptop Chromebook screen. It now has modern LEDs. I think they're modern LEDs. They look tall. They look like single strobes. So when I first seen this tower, I thought it had FH06s or FH08s. So that's what I first thought. But then I looked at old Street View of the tower and discovered it had had 3000 Bs on it. So yeah, it's pretty nice. So this tower doesn't shine white. So yeah, there's that. Here's a good old 15th landmark tower. So yeah, here it is. I forgot where it's located as well, but at least Aiden sent me a link to it so I could see it anytime I want. This tower has an FH324 with one set of markers, obviously, because FH324s don't come with two sets of markers, sadly, unless they have more than one sets of the beacon, you know. So yeah. Wait, wasn't this somewhere in Florida? No, I don't remember. I think it might have been in Florida, somewhere down there. So yeah, there's a tower. Yeah, I think this is in Florida. So yeah, I don't know if it has an LED or not because there's no new street view that I found. So yeah, I should keep looking. You know. Here's the 17th landmark tower. This here, I don't know what beacons it has. I don't even know if it has a beacon. If it does, then it might be some sort of strobe. Well, I mean, some sort of maybe a dual strobe or single strobe. I do know there's something sticking out of the top, though I'm not sure if that's just a beacon or an antenna. Now that I look at it, kind of looks like an FH324 a little bit, but I can't spot markers anywhere. Not whatsoever, you know. This tower also has death antennas. You can see only has one though, which is good. So yeah, for some reason, towers with those antennas always tend to get demolished. For some reason, thank God the one in thank God the one in Dudelberg, or no, but no, it's a whatever it's Doolittle, Doolittle, Doodleberg. I'm weak. So yeah, like I heard this tower is in Louisiana, I think. So yeah, hopefully AJ Jackson finds it so we can find out if it has a beacon or not. I literally lost track of literally everything. Like I counted all of them in my order, and I kept on missing one. I was just like, what? What is it? What is it? So I had to screenshot all of them, and I realized, oh yeah, there's all 19 of them. Like it just whatever, just shows how things are. So it's something. This here is the 18th landmark tower. This is the landmark tower I found last week. I'm pretty sure it was last week. I believe it used to have an FH308, but now has an LED, though I'm not sure. In this picture, it kind of looks like it has two platforms on top of it, so it might have two beacons on top, maybe. Though there's another view of it that I've seen, and there's only one beacon I could see of. But this is down in Florida, so it might have two beacons on top. Maybe. That's what I now hope. That'll be pretty cool. So yeah, like there it is. It's the beacon. This beacon setup is it's a mystery. Sadly, I can't. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it has. I'm guessing it has a single strobe because old Street View it looked like it had a single strobe and there's no visible markers whatsoever. I still can't even find markers either now. In newer Street Views, if I seen this tower, it looks like its beacon is flat. So yeah, I guess it has an LED though. Let's hope it still has a single strobe. So I guess this tower is the next tower to only shine the next landmark tower to only shine white. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Here's the 19th landmark tower. So yeah, this here is going to be the last one since there's only 19 confirmed ones. So yeah, but I will show a little bit of a I'll show a little extra after we look at this one. So yeah, this here is the most recent discovery. I found this one while trying to look for the sixth landmark tower again to see its old beacon setup. While looking, I found the tower. I didn't explain when I made a separate video of this tower, but when I first seen it, it was being blocked by a street light, and at first I thought it was like a little decoration for the street light, since Jackson, Mississippi is it's a famous city. It's even in a Bruno Mars song, if you guys remember. So I guess it's a famous city, I guess. So I would imagine all these decorative things here and there. But I mean, I kept on getting closer, and the streetlight stopped blocking it, and then I realized, holy that's a landmark tower. So I take a look, and I'm just like, holy crap! Look at all the openings. Holy crap! That's like 6 openings, like one at the bottom, and then 5 others. That counts as 6 openings. Or actually, technically it only has 5, but I count the bottoms as openings because normal lattice towers would be closed up at the bottom, but the bottom of landmark towers are open. So yeah, this tower here used to have one of my favorite beacon setups, the strobe incandescent beacon setup. Uh, like I said in the separate video of this, not sure exactly what the strobe is. It on Street View it looks like a FH301, and then in other angles it looks like an FH308. And then Ryan C said it looks like a KG225, but I still can't really see the resemblance. I just can't see it. So yeah, and it just has a modern incandescent. Not sure, not sure what that is, like what modern incandescent is. Maybe it is the KG 225 and KG 114 setup. Maybe that's a very common strobe and incandescent beacon setup. They were always used for landmark towers. I mean, long line towers and other towers. So yeah, um, this one must be old, like from the 90s, I guess, since it has a strobe and incandescent beacon setup. So yeah, it's pretty cool how it has that. Well, it used to have it, at least, but now it sadly has an LED, and I believe it might be a crappy LED because FTS 370 LED markers are always hidden, and this tower's markers are very well hidden. I can't find them at all. Even while looking for them, like well, even while switching from new Street View to old Street View over and over again to find out where the old markers were and stuff. So yeah, I just can't find them. I can't see them. So yeah, there is a LED. So yeah, I believe it's a FTS 370. So there's that. That is that's the end. So yeah, so that's the end of the looking at the main landmark towers. All right, so here's our last towers of the video. These towers aren't numbered yet because we don't know how many of these landmark towers there are, but these here are landmark pylon towers. AJ Jackson found this on his school computer quite a while ago. So yeah, I heard they're in Iowa, so they're close by my state. That's pretty cool. And I'm still trying to find a landmark tower in Missouri. Hopefully, there's at least one. At least one, please. Please tell me there's one in Missouri. You're only able to see three, like one at the back, one in the middle, and a little bit of one at the corner. So yeah, you can see they're all landmark towers. They have the average look and stuff. Though the top is very wide. It's not that skinny. It's just wide, just like the 19th landmark tower. So yeah, and they also have a unique little um power line holders. I guess you can call them. I don't know what they're called, but they're some sort of antennas that hold up the power lines. I like how they look and stuff. So yeah, it's pretty cool. AJ Jackson said that they used to have two sets of modern incandescents each, but now all have 3,000 Bs. Like it's pretty cool though. How did you find out? Maybe there's other pictures. No, I don't know. I would imagine him sending those other pictures. So yeah, but so that was weird. Like there shouldn't be any website for this. This is a screenshot, right? Right. Yeah, this is a screenshot. So yeah, here's the towers. So there might be more of these, but we don't know. AJ Jackson's trying to find these two, though he's busy trying to find the 11th landmark tower. So so yeah, we he's been looking around for these. And I hope he finds them one day because I want to see them. We don't know if they're still around or been demolished. I hope they're still around. I would imagine these being more famous pylon towers, quote unquote landmark tower. I mean, quote unquote pylon towers. Like you would say they're pylon towers, but they're really not because they're landmark towers. So yeah. Um so I don't know. Alright guys, here's the end of the video because I gotta make sugar cookies for my sister's birthday. So yeah, see y'all later. Bye.